Hello. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to make one of these lizard snaps. And it's one of the things I sell in little kits at my booth. Just a little fun, little fidget you carry along with you. So with these kits, you should have enough yarn to do lizard tail, a little bit more, a crochet hook, one little keychain, and this hair beret. If you don't have these things, just found this video by chance, all you need are those exact same items I showed you. You don't have to have the keychain part. That is entirely up to you. I just think that it's neat to have like one of these hanging on your bag. Just makes you think of a little lizard tail. All right, let's get started. So for my lizard tails, I like to start, we're making the end of the tail with this pink. So we're just gonna make a little I don't know what I'm doing. We'll make ourselves a little loop around the hook, and then go ahead and chain about 5. Now, if you're new to my videos, I like to do a lot of things freeform, which allows for a lot of error. So that way you're not stuck in a pattern that you have no idea what's going on. If you miss one stitch 10 rows back. All right, so we did about 5, and now we're just going to start tracing around that 5. All right, so it looks something like this. I need to find the light. There we go. Something like this. We're just going to keep going until we make a full circle. Now what's going to happen as you do this is you're going to notice it starts to feel like it's kind of like coming upwards, which is exactly what we want it to do. When we get to this edge, you're going to go ahead and pinch it, and you can kind of see it's starting to create an upward motion with this. We're going to leave 2 loops on here. We're 2 loops on there. We're going to go ahead and cut the pink yarn. There we go, now our little tail. We're going to fold that in so it's going across where we're going. We're going to come in with our green. The wrong end, hold on. With our green here. And we're going to go wrap around our hook and pull that through. We're going to take the loose tail and also fold it across the project here. So that, and now we have both ends like this. And we're going to take and go in and chain around this side. All we're doing is going into the loop. Let's see if I can closer. All we're doing is going into the loop. Come on. There you go. Pulling the yarn through, and then pulling the yarn through. We're going to keep going till we reach this edge right here. So right here we're going to do our color change again. So we're going to draw 1 loop in, and we're going to fold the green across the project. Now we're going to come in with our second color, which we're doing this yellow. That's going to be the bottom of the tail. Pull that through. Once more, we're going to take this loose end, and you can trim some of these loose ends a little bit. I'll leave the green. So it currently looks a little messy, something like this. We're going to go ahead and go into this loop right here. And chain around. And right here, as we're finishing up, right where the pink stops, we'll go back to the green again. Fold the yellow over, leave 2 loops. Don't finish that stitch yet. Pull the green back from where you had it. And pull it through those 2 loops. And then continue stitching around. just going to go all the way around. And then do that again. This is what it looks like right now. Fold the green in, bring the yellow. Oop. Just lost my hooks there. And we're just going to go around. And so we're going to keep repeating this process. And you can change how many stitches have each color if you want to vary out the pattern, just get a feel for what to do. You could even introduce another color if you'd like to, so that way you can add stripes. The freedom is up to you as the crocheter. And go around. All right, I'm gonna take a pause for a second. So right now, we're gonna go ahead and clean up these little ends here. Get them out of our way. There we go. For now, you're gonna squeeze it flat. You're gonna have it, take it green, squeeze it flat. And this is kind of what your tail is starting to look like. And we're gonna keep going until it's wide enough, or tall enough, to fit the beret. So right now, we stick it down in there. We got this much more to go before we have to get to, before we stop. So we're just gonna keep going around until we get to that point. You can also at this time really kind of go freeform with the shape if you want. Basically what we're going for is a just flat, semi-rectangular, triangular shape, big enough to fit that beret in for the clipping motion. Otherwise, you can kind of go however you want with it. That's just kind of the beauty with this sort of thing, is you do not have to stick with what you're doing. But if you continue to just keep wrapping upwards like this, it might grow just a little bit. It really depends on whether or not you hit every single stitch as you go around. If it does, that's okay. I'm going to show you how to do the decreases when we get closer to the top, and really start shaping it out to the end of the tail. But those work just fine when you need to decrease because the project's starting to get away from you a little bit, or you just want to, even like say for example a leopard gecko tail, they have, I know, a little bit more of a bulge in the middle of it, you know, and say you want to create one of those. It gives you a chance to do that on purpose. And speaking of which, if you did want to do something like that, all you would do is insert two new stitches into one of the old stitches on the bottom row, and that would create that bulge effect. But we're going for just a plain old triangular style lizard tail. And as you can see, it just starts to kind of come together as you go. So here at this point, I know we're starting to get close to being right at the same size as the beret. So we're going to check, see where we're at. So we're going to take our beret and just insert it down in there. You don't want this to be a tight fit or it will try to poke through the holes. So at this point, I'd say we're doing pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and do our switch. You know, it's right here's the tip. We're going to go ahead and do our switch and start decreasing. So what I like to do is, if I can't get the hook in there, grab that first loop right there. There we go. All right, there we go, so we can see it better. So we're going to take and grab this first loop. What I like to do is reach in and use that hook to pull it out. Depends all on your hook though, and whether or not that's going to be easy. But there we go, we got it. We're going to go into the top right here of this next, and that's going to begin. I'm grabbing the wrong thing. There we go. So right here in the top of the next one, grab that and keep going. So we're going to do our color change. And we're going to do the same on this side. We're going to reach down in here, try to grab that back loop right here that's on the inside, if we can get it, and the front loop of the next stitch, which right here. Grab that in. And sometimes it'll be hard to fight that little right there. And we're going to keep going. At this point, if you want to stop using your belly color, you can. I'm going to go around with it one more time. So that's going to be 1, 2, and then we're going to go ahead and cut that off. That's going to allow us to kind of hide it a little bit more. Grab our green. Now we're just going to go all the way through. And at this point, you can kind of just keep going as long as you want to. All right, and to finish it off, we're just going to cut the yarn and pull it through. There we go. You can actually use your hook to grab these tails that might have been left out and pull them through until they are hidden inside your little snap. Same thing with this top. We're going to go through this yellow here, come out, wrap around and grab it. And finish up with this last green. I'll admit, I'm okay. Anyways, but there you have it. One finished lizard tail. Attached to the keychain, use your extra yarn to put your crochet hook through this little pink area here. Pull the yarn through to tie it to the keychain. Thanks for watching.